Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Zimbabwe Daily. My name is Yvonne Mchaka, and I do hope I find all of you well. This is Wednesday, 21 April 2021. This is the year, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I'm excited this afternoon as I bring you this special program in studio with. I'm joined by a special lady because you know her. She's been on the platform, she's been here interviewing other people, and today the roles are in reverse. That is Titi. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pastor Yvonne. I don't know what am I going to be calling you today.
No, it's fine. Yvonne will do just fine. So today, Titi, um, right, I want you to introduce, like all the time we hear, I'm Peshi T Mashiri, but who is Peshi?
Okay. So my name is Tsitsi Patience Mashiri, but on my social media platforms I use T Mashiri.
Right.
So myself, I'm a journalist and I'm also a women's rights activist.
What does that mean?
I represent women's rights and I support women.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, Titi, you're starting a campaign, and we're going to go into that campaign. But I want you to locate yourself within the demographics of Zimbabwe and Harare, in particular Chitungwiza. In 2018, you stood as a member of parliament for St. Mary's.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about that.
I stood as an independent candidate because I was starting my political career. So I didn't want to join any political party, or should I say, because of what's happening in the political parties, the splits and stuff. So I didn't want to be involved in that. So I decided to run as an independent candidate for St. Mary's constituents. And for me, it was a learning phase because I wanted to know how it goes, how it is, especially for women in politics. And of
Right.
course, I'm one of those like you are.
Well, naturally, because our politics is more partisan than it is,
Oh,
we
yes.
don't really believe in other people. But we want to talk about the particular campaign that you've been running over the last few days, weeks, I think. You put out this flyer, and I was wondering, what is this girl doing? And you were saying, ladies first, Pazubko. Tell us about that. Why do you feel the need to have this campaign?
Looking at my experience as a Chitungiza resident, I'm talking about going to church office to board a bus so that you can go home because it's cheaper to go home using a Zupco rather than boarding a lift, which is dollar to Chitungiza and dollar to come to town, which means you will need $2 a day.
Right.
And looking at the economy that we have in Zimbabwe, that everything is not going well, especially for those who go to work. So as I was at church office trying to board the bus to go home, I I think it took me almost a week going there just to see what's really happening at the at church office. Then I realized that we spent more than 3 hours waiting for a Zuko, especially during peak hours.
Right.
So when you spend those hours at the waiting for the Zuko, and when it finally arrives, then unozongona kwakuyama staff members anozongekana akumberi, and then they get in the buses before those people who were already at the bus station earlier. So and looking at it, then I decided that I think the government should do something about this. And maybe during peak hours, they should just give women buses, probably two at charge office, at Copacabana, at Fort, to make sure that women they can get home safely. Because one two women are being abused buses, but to get in the bus. So then I decided that if I do this, because I might not be able to meet the Minister for Transport because of their busy schedules, I might not be able to meet the President of Zimbabwe face to face. But when I do my things online, he might be able to know that there are women who are looking for this and they need help.
Right. We're coming to you live from our Zimbabwe Daily Studios, and we're talking to Patience T. Mashiri on the campaign that she has started advocating for availability or for Zupco, the public transport provider, to provide specific buses for women. Do you feel that this is practical? We want you to engage with us. What are the practical things that you're seeing on your own bus termini? Takambonzwa kuti kana ukasabaiwa jekiseni reCOVID, you're not going to get into Zupco, but are the buses available for people to get into it? So we're just trying to hear, if you are watching us from Chitungwiza, if you're watching us from Norton, if you're watching us from any of the suburbs in and around Harare and in any other province that you may be watching and joining us from, do tell us some of the experiences that you have. So as a young woman, Tsitsi, as a young woman who resides in Chitungwiza, as you have said, do you feel like the young women, the girls, they're not prioritized at these pickup points? You talk about abuse, you spoke about Mbobobo, you spoke about just the hours, unproductive hours that someone spends in a queue, 3 hours. What should then be done? You've mentioned buses. How practical is it? You
Is
know,
that I think sometimes our government they prioritize things that does not matter for people. So I think it's high time they look at what we as women and girls are facing. Look at Chitungwiza or Norton. We do not have our own source of water. So spending those hours is also causing the unpaid care work burden, which means I need to go home and look for water after I've been spent those hours at the bus terminal
doing nothing
did
really.
nothing
Yeah.
here. And then when I get home, I need to look for food. I need to look for after the children. A lot of things that women are doing, which is causing this very. It's not of answer. So we are saying you spend those hours and then tomorrow morning you need to come back. Chifunga vanobuda nguva yekutanumira the same soup kwedzengeza two shops.
Right.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. So I know that it might be difficult for the government to do that because the soup calls are kutorina. But then I'm saying, can you just help us as women? Just say around from 4 to 5 p.m. there will be two soup calls that will be able to ferry women so that they can go home earlier and do their household chores.
Right.
Because Shakira Tese na Baba short Shakira Tese with my brother. But the things that I will do when I get home, they are different from what my brother will be doing when he gets home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to take a short break right now. And when we come back, we're going to look and explore more on the what should be done. Because I think the problems we all know. But then what? Then what? What do we do with those problems? Let's take a short break. And when we come back, we continue with this conversation. No. All right, so welcome back. Welcome back. We're talking to Tsitsi Mashiri, and we are talking about a transport campaign. Transport problems have continued in our country, just as so many other problems are in existence. And so we want to understand the plight of the girls, the plight of the mothers when they go to this bus terminal. But beyond that, what in terms of policy, Tsitsi? What in terms of policy do you think needs to be put in place? I understand the city of Harare at some point had a deal with the Chinese, if I'm not mistaken, where 600 buses were to come, but government blocked that move for whatever reason that government did. When it comes to transportation, do you feel the local authorities need to take on that responsibility to provide transport for the people?
Yes, I do think so because this is beyond politics. Because whatever affects a person who belongs to MGCA, it also affects somebody who comes from ZANPF. Because we
Right.
are talking about people who stay in Chitungwiza who are over 500,000 and who cannot afford to buy a car. Because I remember someone when I started this campaign, someone online said, "Tenga is a new motor," but vangani vanokwanisa afford to buy those cars so that they can travel safely. So I think the local authorities should come in, and I think because we've been hearing kuti chazoita njani yedu kuchitungwiza for many years, and we have never seen that. Because I'm thinking if we had our own train that comes from Chitumbiza to Harare, it would be much easier for women and girls. We are
Right.
looking at young girls who come to school in town. They need to travel up and down. And when we try to go to what do you call it, along Julius Nyerere to board either at Joiner City at main post office or something, the police will be waiting for us there. Vachiti, endai kuchi endai kurengi munokwira mazupko. So when we get there, there are no zupko. Saka, what should we do? So the government should do something about this. This has nothing to do with politics. It doesn't matter what Indian munhu wese ari kuaffectwa with the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've also seen, you talked about abuse, but we've seen robberies taking place.
Oh, yes.
Vanhu vachikwira iwo mawisheda akati
Exactly.
kuuya,
Pamshika-shika and stuff.
and all the different vehicles that are used by these people. And our young girls are abused, our, you know, people's resources and mari dzavo dzinobiwa because they are trying to get themselves home. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so that is it, because when we look at the police, we think they are there to fight for us or to protect us as citizens. But then when I try to do something, in fact, I think people should just make sure that we have safe travel as women. Zvekuti because we cannot afford those lifts, we just need to have our soup because are safe. Because I think few months ago, pano vakapedzisira vakuisa maposta ekuratidza kuti mazupko fichi vasiri, and then when you board such a combi and get to roundabout, they will tell you are no longer going to Machipisa. So these are the problems that women are facing, and no one is talking about it because something we do not have anyone to talk to, we do not have anyone to share with. But when we have platforms like these, and we have organizations that are ready to support women, then we speak about it. So inini, I would have loved to tizoita futi interview yakadai, so if in kucharge office kwacho mama muchizvionera kuti this is what women are facing, especially time yepeak hour.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, you mentioned something, you mentioned it in passing, but I think it's really important that we take a step back. The campaign that you started online and what have been some of the challenges that you have faced in your campaign?
Oh yes, for sure. I've been facing challenges. Like when I first posted my poster, I remember some of the organization and some of the other friends, and Nanayo Zimbabwe and stuff, they could share also the same poster, and other friends of mine, they could also post the same poster in Nana ZFM, different Facebook groups, and then people started saying, "Amai avanorwara,
Right.
vanopenga hechichi anopenga, makati munoda 50-50, so jairira izvozvo batwai kumazupko ikoko," and something like that. So I think people, because I don't know why people in Zimbabwe are just angry when they see someone, they vanongotanga kuda kungoita noizi zviri unnecessary, because you didn't hear where I am coming from. I'm talking about myself, ndichitombokwirawo zupkwero ndichiona, because in myself I'm a journalist, ndogona kungoita kunge ndoda kunokwira bhazi, but ndisingade ndichida kuona kuti what's happening, especially to women issues, because I'm so passionate about women.
Right.
Yeah. So izvozvo hazvina kundistopa my campaign, because somebody said ndezvako izvo batwai zvine basa rei makati munoda 50-50. We are saying we need a zupko for your sister. Saka kana iwe uchiti sister yako abatwira pazupko, what do you mean? So yeah, that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, we're coming to you live. If you're joining us, we would want to hear your comments and also see what you're saying to us at this particular moment. My name is Yvonne Muchaka, and I'm joined in the studio with Patience T. Mashiri, and we're talking about public transport. And thank you so much to all of you who are getting in touch with us. I want to read this comment that somebody has sent. I think the team that is behind the scenes can help me there, just for us to highlight that particular issue. Chelsea, can you read for me what somebody's saying there? I can't see.
Okay, say it's good that someone has made this issue come into the public arena. Recently, we heard that women in Beitbridge are harassed by touts. Coming to the women buses is a viable solution. Maybe when coming back home, but when going to work, it's not feasible as everyone wants to go to work at the same time.
Right.
The issue does bring to light the need for more buses.
Thank you very much, Chelsea, for reading that for me. Thank you for coming through. What's the name of the person?
Michelle Mahachi.
Michelle, thank you so much for coming through with your comment. That is really, I mean, those are the issues. Women are being harassed, and the problem is not just concentrated in areas like Chitungwiza or Norton, but in all the cities. We have
Yes.
seen, we saw some people demonstrating in Bulawayo at some point to say we really need to have these buses on the road. So there is need for government to begin to look into these issues and say what can be done. And it's
Yes.
not just the fact that there's no transport, but the roads themselves. Tell us a little bit about the
Ish.
roads in Chitungwiza, in the Zupco
Yeah,
buses.
yeah. So people from Chitumbuza, they now call it anonzi makomba echi
No swimming pool?
aiwa makomba aya ari kudyarwa chibage kumusha aya.
Efumvuza.
Yes, they now call it Pumvudza Road because it's unbearable.
Oh my
So when
word.
you want to get in town earlier, if you start work at 8 and you want to make sure that you are on time, you have to leave Chitungis around 6:30. The journey yatekwa sangoita for 25 minutes, kana tatokurumidzisa maybe 20 minutes unenge watosvika. But right now, because of the poor roads and everything, I think we need to be serious about it. And I think the government officials should not look at which face is saying this.
Right.
And I understand the president of Zimbabwe said he is a listening president. So I think he should listen to the people who are ready to tell him the truth.
Right.
Because sometimes kune munhu anomunyepera kuti road yakanaka iyi. But I think even when the first lady came to Chitungwiza for Vimbai's funeral, I think she did experience that. That is if she noticed. So we are saying to her, she's a female as well. Please
Vimbai-
talk to
Vimbai Jari.
yes
Okay.
yes so we are saying you zviri easier kuti vateererwe ivo because my campaigner was also focusing to make sure that the first lady hears this, the minister of information hears this, because we understand that they are women. So these women they vanoteererwa napresident chandaiwo munotaura nemukuru kuti we need better roads and we need better transport for women so that zvinhu zvese zvinofamba zvakanaka.
Oh, wonderful. And Edith Kasukwere, you come in with your comment. Very true. There is need for more buses because females are losing respect by the day. I think the issue of the women's dignity cannot be overemphasized.
Oh, yes.
And we really need to listen to that. Anzi vana mama ana mai Mnangagwa and vana mai Mtswangwa vari kumsore kokoko. You hear the pleas of the women and help us get this information right to the people who are in authority. Thank you so much to all of you. Thank you, Tsitsi, for
Thank you.
coming through. I think this is a very powerful campaign that you're starting.
Thank you
And
so
as
much.
Zimbabwe Daily and as a fellow woman,
Yeah.
I think we really support such initiatives because
you
at the
so
end of the
much.
day, the fact that there are more buses on the road benefits all of us.
Oh yes, thank you so much for having me and continue to support us as you can.
Awesome. So this has been a wonderful discussion right here on Zimbabwe Daily. We were talking about the transport wars, increasing the burden of unpaid care work, especially on women and girls. As Nonzo no, but Ranzi, let's try to prioritize these women because they've got other works waiting for them, like looking for water. So all these issues as they happen, Jineka effect kazvinoita gumberoko. If I get home at 8 o'clock, it means the family is going to eat at 9. So we need to make these adjustments so that we allow our ladies and our girls to travel with dignity on the roads. Thank you so much, Zimbabwe, for coming through. I love it when you comment. I love it when you communicate back with us. It shows that we are doing something meaningful. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of day. God bless you.